Hello and welcome to ETBFSI.com. I'm in conversation with a special guest today. His name is Rajnish Kumar, who has spent 40 years with PSU banks and specifically with SBI, which is the largest bank of the country. He headed as a chairman, and now he's also holding a lot of other roles in his capacity as a private banker or an expert in the industry. He's currently the chairman of Bharat Pe, which is a leading fintech company. He's also on an advisory and a advisory board of Byju's. He's also the chairman of MDI, and he's also part of so many companies and giving his advice. So it's a really pleasure to have Mr. Kumar on this show. Mr. Kumar, glad to have you.
Thank you, Amol.
Now let me move my focus where the bankers are becoming fintechs. You are advising and being part of a lot of fintechs. Fintechs are trying to become a banks. So with this background, there was a lot of hope that the Bharat Pe will turn up. A lot of issues happened there. A lot of controversies happened there. So, being a chairman of the fintech company, I would like you to tell us what is the current state of Bharat Pe. Are those corporate governance issues, all those controversies are over now, and where is it Bharat Pe heading now?
So Bharat Pe, definitely it had its own problems, and last 1 year, 15 months, they have all been spent in putting the governance structure in place and at the same time ensuring that the business continues. And even the March 22 balance sheet, that had a couple of issues with the auditors. It was a qualified balance sheet. But now when the March 23 balance sheet comes, so it will be a clean balance sheet. So the cleanup which was required to be done, it has been done. Governance structure is in place. And Bharat Pe is only one of the company where investors have not officially taken any write down on its valuation.
Right.
Whereas many other companies, startups and fintechs, the investors have taken a write down. And we're doing well in the sense that, as I said, that corporate governance issues we have fixed. A lot of hiring has happened where very, I would say, high quality professionals have joined Bharat Pe. Couple of people have gone out, but couple of people have come in also. And in terms of professionalism, they are no less than the outgoing people in any manner. So the team is in place. A lot of issues around, like RBI came out with digital lending guidelines, and compliance issues were there. They have also been all sorted out. So in such a scenario, now the way forward is all about growing the business.
Right.
In terms of profits, I think it is a matter of a few months, maybe September or October. Bharat Pe will be in a situation where it will not be burning cash to begin with.
So September, October of this particular year?
This particular year.
Okay.
Then what remains is that the business opportunities in terms of its own merchant acquisition business and lending support business, or what we call LSP, and the investment in NBFC and investment in Unity Finance Bank, and the license for payment aggregator. So Bharat Pe will become a important ecosystem player as far as financial services are concerned. So the company is on the right track, and I think it is, as I said, that one of the many companies which were, you can say, troubled companies, but it has done relatively much better in putting its house in order.
Right. So, sir, I would like you to highlight and maybe explain more, because your insights, your experience will help a lot of fintechs, because many of the fintechs also went through the similar position. And you come from a background where compliance and risk, is the top on the list, right? Where the fintechs perhaps will not look at it because they are not regulated entities. So when you came on the board of maybe a Bharat Pe, and when you actually look at the balance sheets and the whole dashboard, you mentioned compliance and governance, but if you want to be more specific in terms of what exactly did you find that you thought, oh, this will not go well with the business going ahead?
No, many of the companies, if you look at the companies which are in, they did not have a professional CFO.
Right.
In my view, that is the most critical position for a company which is on a growth path. Right. You need someone who can take care of your finances in a proper manner. So that is one. And then as the company grows in size, the professionalism at the board. Today, Bharat Pe is a private limited company.
Yes.
A private limited company does not need independent directors, but Bharat Pe has independent directors, and they are the people of his stature.
Okay.
So it starts with the board. Any corporate governance review or anything to do with corporate governance, it will always start with the board. Board sets the strategy and philosophy and what is expected of the KMPs, key management person. Then comes the team. And then comes the governance system. And depending upon the size of the company, I'm not saying that every company has to do it, but you need a professional CFO for sure. If the company is slightly bigger, then within CFO, you need a financial control. You need internal audit systems. And you need people who are looking after compliance.
Absolutely.
And once the intent or the message from the board is that you have to be on the right side of the law, compliance or non-compliance rather will not be tolerated. So from messaging perspective, once that message is given, and then if the team is there, which is professional, then you create the organizational structure. And then things would start falling in the place.
So, sir, Bharat Pe actually started on a really good note. Merchant business was shaping up, and they kind of, tried to give a different solutions to to the merchants. Now you have different solutions. Obviously, Soundbox is there. You're offering, loan products also to the merchants, some wealth products also, and I see huge numbers. In fact, a very interesting numbers. Out of all these 4 to 5 businesses that you have, which one do you think will perhaps become profitable the most? Because we had also seen a lot of, a lot of issues when this controversy happened, that the merchants were not onboarding and something like that, or they left the platform. So which of these 4 businesses will do really well?
We are in a regime where on QR code or UPI transactions, no MDR can be recovered from the merchant.
Exactly.
Particularly smaller merchants. And very clearly, even the government statements are that you have to find avenues to earn money, not through payment or charging for the pay. But swipe machine or speakers, they per se are break-even or a profitable business. QR code, as far as QR code is concerned, so the ability to collect money and then finding partners who can, based on your capability to provide what is called loan services in terms of helping them to originate and as well as helping them to collect. So this is a service we provide. And in the process, the margin, whatever is the lending margin, that gets shared between the NBFC partner who does their own underwriting. And they take the credit loss in their books. And once they have recovered their cost of funds, operational costs, return on equity and credit costs. So whatever is the remaining or left over, so that is for the service provider like Bharat Pe. From that, you have to recover the all the costs, including merchant acquisition costs. So that is the business model on which a lender, digital lender, or a Bharat Pe entity like Bharat Pe would work. And the ability to find merchants who will stick with you, because the cost of acquisition of merchant becomes high. If the churn is very high, the merchant onboards and then gets out quickly. This is one important metric. Then these merchants, the opportunity to cross-sell loan product should be there. And that is where your data analytics capability comes in. So based on that, consciously Bharat Pe said that rather than just going for any exponential acquisition or growth of the merchant, we focus on merchants where we see cross-sell opportunities. And so that is one of the main criteria. So that's why the number of merchants or active merchants initially came down. But for last 3-4 months, we are seeing a decent growth. And now it is, as I said, that having put in the governance structure in place, the right policy around merchant acquisition in place, so Bharat Pe now can go for a higher growth. And higher growth can be achieved only through, one is that you have to have a satisfied merchant base. And like any other business, you have to have a satisfied customer base, and then time to time offer them innovative products, which BharatPe is very good at.
Right. Being a banker, you know how exactly the dynamics between the banks, NBFCs, and NBFC partnerships with the fintechs work. So when you actually say, whatever is left out or left over will be with the service providers, and that's where the fintechs are. They are more like a credit aggregator, where generating a lead.
Loan service provider and technology service provider.
But is that enough for a BharatPe or other fintech companies to become sustainable, profitable?
At a certain volume, yes.
Okay.
It's a function of volume also.
Okay.
Because there are many times certain fixed costs.
Right.
So as your business grows, and that's where the BharatPe, when I said that we are seeing that in by September or October, there will be a cashback given. So that is where, because of the increased volume and driving the cost efficiencies, we are in a situation where our business would be reaching the break-even level, and then whatever is the incremental growth in business, that will add to the bottom line.
But will you work only as a service provider? No other plans for NBFC license or something? Or
we have invested. We have invested. We can go up to even 100%. 51% we acquired in a company called Trillions.
Yes.
And gradually we will be capitalizing it. And but there is no bar in our going up to even 100%. We have 49% stake in Unity Small Finance Bank. So teams are working together to exploit the synergies between BharatPe and Unity Small Finance Bank. They also were putting everything in order. And the last almost 2 years they have utilized for bringing new technology, putting the governance structure in place, settling the issues around PMC. So now I think both the organizations are ready to, or are in a position where they can now work together closely and drive the business synergy and benefit out of it.
Then last important point on BharatPe, sir, is you said that March 23 balance sheet will be better than the previous one. September, October will be a cash flow positive. That's what you see. Considering whatever the crisis went through and the synergies that you are trying to establish with your partners, maybe Unity or the NBFCs, what next for BharatPe? Maybe next 2 to 3 years. Where do you see BharatPe?
No, what is that in next 2 years we would like to list the company also. And depending upon the circumstances, how the stock market and overall the conditions are. But as I said that BharatPe is an important player in the financial ecosystem. We have got the in principle approval for PA, aggregator license we have. And then the merchant acquisition business and servicing business, this will continue. There is a scope for growth. And then apart from merchant lending business, BharatPe is another product which is post-pay, which is the consumer side. Right. So this, we were not growing it at a fast pace. One was because of the Reserve Bank of India guidelines around PPI, because it was a PPI-based model where credit bin was used PPI, but credit was available, and RBI put a stop to it. So post-pay also, it's a very good, well-designed, I would say, consumer app. And we have a lot of hopes around post-pay. So there will be a merchant business and there will be consumer business. And India is growing, economy is growing. It has one of the best world-class payment system. We have the capability to analyze data and facilitate lending. So we'll play on our strengths and continue to grow the business, and hopefully we'll give decent or meet the expectation of all the stakeholders.
Great, interesting, but great, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your time. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching ETBFSI.com. Stay tuned to economictimesbfsi.com and stay connected. Thank you.